This was the first watercolour sketch in my sketchbook, which is a portrait, and I feel like she's kind of alien looking. We went to a wildlife park, which was a conservation area for polar bears, and it really inspired me to paint them, and also the markings on a giraffe I just found really interesting. So again, I wanted to focus that page on that. This was part of my beach babe era, as I like to call it, and I was focusing on contrasting colours and using ink to really get that contrast up. And in the bottom one, I was experimenting with colour blocking. Here I was using different watercolour techniques and using different brush strokes to see which different effects I could get. This was a quick portrait of Sunbeams Jess, who is a YouTuber, and I find her videos really interesting and inspiring, and it definitely could be better, but I'm still happy with it. And then just a cute flower. This cow drawing is in ink, and I actually painted it after watching Cowspiracy. It made me view cows and just animals in general in a completely different light. And this was another quick portrait in ink. I'd seen this challenge online where you make little blobs of paint and then try and make shapes out of them, so that was just a fun challenge. And now we're into the stags, and I just love the ethereal feel of stags, and I tried to go with like a scratchy pencil outline sort of vibe. And then this then inspired me to create some oil paintings, and I also videoed the whole process of this painting here, so I'll pop the link in the description box if you've not already seen that. Here I was practicing facial features in oil paint. So because it was in my sketchbook, I first coated the paper with like a gel medium, and this gave it a lovely smooth texture to work on. Again, I also filmed the process of this painting here, so again I'll pop that in the description box if you would like to see that in full. These next few pages were part of my Sketchbook Diaries, which is where I filmed a sketch a day in my sketchbook and put it up on YouTube. So again, I'll link those in the description box if you'd like to see any of these paintings with the full process. And it was just really a place to try out new ideas and play with colour and different brush strokes. These pages I used charcoal, which I absolutely love. It's kind of messy, but I just love how rich and contrasted it looks. And here I experimented with colourful sky and practiced putting little stars on with a white gel pen. For this painting, I really wanted to convey the idea of getting lost in our thoughts, our creative ideas, and also I get this thing at night where I'm stuck between not being asleep but being unable to feel awake, and I wanted to portray how this feeling is. Here I wanted to try practicing blending colours in watercolours, but also trying to keep some structure, and I love the way these colours work together. This was just a little study and I really wanted it to feel organic, so I used the shapes of leaves and tried blending two colours together, and I love the effect. This was just another study, and this time of hands, which I find really difficult to draw and paint, so I thought it would be a good time to practice in my sketchbook. And this is just using acrylics. These were painted in watercolour alongside a class on Skillshare that taught about watercolour peonies. I really got into interior design and I wondered what a living room portrait would look like, so here I attempted one in watercolour, and you can even see the washing on the line. Heading back to my favourite subject, I'll never get old of these neutral colours. I filmed a whole process video on these butterflies, which I'll link below. We went to a butterfly sanctuary which was amazing, and it just really inspired me to paint some. These sketches were actually made with watercolour pencils, which you can add water to and blend them out, as I was experimenting with them at the time. And this page actually shows a difference between the blends in pencils and then pan watercolours, and I actually prefer the pan watercolours because the effect I just feel is a lot nicer. This is a house portrait of a chateau we stayed in Bordeaux, France last year. It was such a beautiful place to stay, and it even had a pool. The local area was so pretty, and it had beautiful forests and just surrounded by nature, and so I took my sketchbook with me and did some paintings. My love for cacti led me to painting these cute little plants in colourful pots, and this was for no reason at all other than it just being fun. Last year, instead of sunbathing, I took my watercolours outside and painted from life in my garden on a beautiful summer evening last year. Which was where I also painted this painting, and it says, "Draw what you dream, dream what you love." And here's some more floral studies of peonies and roses in watercolours. So guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that sketchbook tour. I also have another sketchbook tour on my channel of my larger watercolour sketchbook, so make sure you go check that out. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and if you've not already, remember to subscribe so that you don't miss out on future videos.